As the air raid sirens wailed their mournful cry, Captain Heinrich Weber climbed into the cockpit of his Me-262, the so-called wonder weapon that promised a turning tide in a war already lost. The sleek lines of the jet, the pride of German engineering, seemed almost mocking in the face of the inevitable collapse. Heinrich had survived the war, unlike so many of his comrades, but survival felt more like a curse than a blessing. Duty compelled him to fly, to fight, to kill, even though he no longer understood why. The engines roared to life and he taxied onto the runway, the sound of distant explosions punctuating the night. As he took off, he felt the familiar detachment settle over him, a cold, mechanical precision that had become his only defense against the horrors he faced. He was a machine now, devoid of emotion, focused solely on the calculations of energy differences and attack angles. Climbing into the sky, Heinrich spotted an American bearcat. It was just another target, another obstacle to be eliminated. He maneuvered his Me-262 with practiced ease, finding the perfect angle and closing in for the kill. The bearcat erupted in flames, spiraling downward as its pilot's life was extinguished. Heinrich felt nothing. It was just another mark on his tally, another soul sent to oblivion. Higher he climbed toward the bombers that seemed to come in never-ending waves, each one a harbinger of more death and destruction. Once he had loved his fatherland, but now that love had been scorched away, leaving only a hollow duty. The bombers were faceless enemies, bringing ruin to a nation already in ruins. He couldn't see them as people, sons, fathers, brothers, just as targets to be destroyed. He intercepted the bombers, focusing on their weaknesses, their vulnerabilities. He climbed above them, building altitude and speed, before diving down with lethal precision. Tracers streaked past him, some finding their mark, but he pressed on, driven by a purpose that felt more imposed than embraced. He damaged one bomber, then moved on to another, his actions automatic, his thoughts a blur. Then he saw them, the B-29s, the new threat he had heard whispers about. Their firepower was immense, and perhaps he thought they would be his end. He went after one, carefully climbing before diving into the attack. Bullets riddled his plane, yet still he pressed on, evading death by instinct alone. crippled the bomber's rear control surfaces, a precise strike that sent it tumbling from the sky. One more. He fixed his sights on another B-29, this time abandoning caution. It would be either the bomber or him. He flew straight into the hail of gunfire, his resolve unshakable. A burst of his cannons and the bomber's tail sheared off. He rolled to evade the falling debris, his movements almost automatic, an ingrained survival instinct taking over. Their Me-262 was out of ammo, riddled with holes, a flying miracle of sorts. Heinrich turned for home. Knowing the landing would be perilous. Yet, even with the desire for an end to his painful existence, there was a nagging drive for survival. Skidding to a halt in a shower of sparks. Climbing out of the cockpit, Heinrich felt a hollow sense of relief. He had survived again, but it meant another day of fighting, another day of killing. There was no solace in his survival, only the grim knowledge that he would have to face the madness of war once more. He was a soldier, bound by duty, but each life he took was another weight upon his soul, dragging him further into the abyss of his own making.